The immigrants in the USA are working really hard, and everywhere you go you find them working with each other and just doing whatever it is they want to do. But here's the whole situation. People throughout the USA are now defining immigration as something that only they define because of their voting privileges. What I mean is a group of people will just go on and say the Indians should act like this because we decided it, and they'll refute that. They say they didn't call you this particular name and they want you to stay in whatever sort of confinement they have defined. And that's not the only problem. The other problem here is that there are immigrants or first-generation Americans who are defining American culture and the best forms of identity by their own standards without necessarily keeping up with their own nation. What I mean is there could be a Bangladeshi guy from Bangladesh or who has parents from Bangladesh and is an immigrant. He came when he was 3 and he's come across to the USA as a great opportunity. Great. But now he's saying that the Bangladeshi identity is defined as this and that when he doesn't even know what's going on in Bangladesh. If you ask him a question of, hey, what's going on in Bangladesh? He'd be like, oh, I don't know, I don't keep up with that stuff, I'm American. And that sort of identity is accepted here in the USA. The other problem here is that if you know that this idiosyncrasy to be true, then they are ultimately not helping with the economy back in Bangladesh that would further develop the personalities of Americans who are defining themselves as Americans here in America, because they're taking all the intellectual property and giving it to the white Americans or the majority Americans, and those majority Americans are saying it's American. Then the people in America go out and say, hey, Bangladesh is our identity. We don't want you to have this sort of similarities with us because we are defining a different group of people. And this is the problem that I'm talking about today in this video. So I came up with 3 things that we can combat this whole situation and get rid of the whole competition that is giving us such a terrible vibe, because we are indeed Americans or immigrants, and they are always trying to be this #1 person to not let you get the economy or the millions of dollars. They'd rather have, if a millionaire, one of them and not one of you. Because you'll end up taking their women, just like how Nick Jonas took Priyanka Chopra. Even though Priyanka Chopra's position in the American whole media scene could be beneficial for Indians because of whatever's going on in The Office, like that movie, and whatever's going on with Ghost, it could be detrimental because all the other white majority Americans only accept Americans who say that they're only American. They don't keep up with that Bangladeshi stuff or Indian stuff, and they only keep up with how white man took his wife, or how white men completely dominate the financial sector so that the genes could be the best possible looking. Alright, here's solution number 1. Tell the person, whoever is in the boss position or whoever they got to say that this is the person we refer to when we want to talk to Bangladeshis or Indian people, that this is the wrong thing that's going on. What I mean is, somewhere in the USA there is someone who is deciding what to do about the future of Bangladeshis in America and Bangladeshis in the USA, and they're coming up with the ideation to tell you that it is incorrect for whatever future prospects that you currently have. This is a problem because most Bangladeshis and most immigrants here, they come up with the great, strong, and American standards that they want to achieve the wealth and accept and benefit America as well. The Americans also have this problem, but the sort of identity comes down to a vote, and this is why voting is sort of a discriminatory technique, because the Americans or Bangladeshi are saying one thing and the Bangladeshi immigrants are saying another thing, and they're both following America's interests, and that conflicts with the greater population. The greater population comes to understand these sort of situations that is available to every sort of situation, and they want to be able to make sales and not produce any impediments within the continuity of making a lot of money. That being said, this is the best reason to tell whoever has the boss position that they got it wrong, because there is more information out there. And if you're scared of telling people that this is the wrong information, then you're going to be stuck there in a loophole telling people that this is the right thing, but they won't be accepted into society because whoever is in a boss position and your representative is not really understanding this is the right position. Number 2 comes down to the individual level. Number 2 is basically the individual who is basically saying that he's American and he doesn't follow whatever's going on with the nation's interest, is not aligning with what's going on with the person who has majority interest, that is the immigration policy. This immigration policy doesn't let anyone do any sort of situation that is currently beneficial to anyone in itself, because they have the whole sole demeanor that the right position or the right person is the American, born, but the right person is also the immigrant born. And therefore it is conflicting, and these people aren't able to identify themselves. That being said, there is the whole birthright citizenship, and whatever happens to an immigrant's child when they are birthright citizens, they have the great opportunity, while the immigrant still does not have any great opportunity. That's important to say, because if you realize that these people are incorrect because they have this identity, it will give you an ability to tell someone who is in the boss position that they can achieve their goals, because most importantly, you are trying to achieve your goals and make sure the American economy doesn't mess up because of your implications to you trying to make goals. And the second part about number 2 is the individual who is currently aligning as an American, who looks like he's a Bangladeshi and is saying that he doesn't deal with that immigrant stuff, is currently causing problems and is not aligning with the greater American culture that both immigrant Bangladeshis and both immigrant American Bangladeshis, firstborn generation children, should be co-aligning and coexisting with each other, but they have their conflicting values, because he has the American idea and he has the immigrant idea because that's where they come from. But they don't really figure it out, because this example clearly demonstrates that Bangladeshis are in a conflicting problem. It happens all across the world with Hispanics and Africans and the Chinese. Like, there are Chinese who only date white boys, and there are Hispanics who only date white boys, and those are the preferred ones. And this is why you should tell whoever's involved that they're wrong, and because they're wrong, you have to tell the person who has the job, who is sort of showing that he has the American identity, his boss's job. So if my 3-year-old cousin has a job with his tutor or his preschool teacher, then I should tell his preschool teacher that this guy got the wrong idea, and she'll be offended and she'll say he can do whatever he wants. But America's interest has ultimately decided that immigrants should do this thing and America should do this thing, but they still look to the same countries. So this is a euphemistic play of the anti-competitive competition that I'm clearly trying to solve here. If you liked the video so far, hit the like and subscribe, and make sure you comment if you want to, and I'll be able to get back to you. Number 3 is realize the USA will take intellectual property that is worthy of wealth, and they will take it from immigrants and Americans the same. Immigrants, they will have the confounding belief that the American, Bangladeshi in this case, will be able to really co-align with the American society, but the Americans will take it from them, and the Americans will also take it from the immigrants because it is the white majority nation. So if you know about these 3 solutions, then you can solve the problem. But to build upon a little bit more on number 3, it is sort of rudimentary, and this is sort of understood, and without having a decent talk about it or some sort of communal understanding that this is a problem, the situation is going to get worse. They're going to have children, and those children are going to be intellectual property farms, and they're going to have to identify as their nation, like Bangladesh or India, and they're going to follow along with whatever majority's word of mouth is basically saying, like the P word, Pajit, and they're going to start offering their intellectual property so that they could stay in America, because America's #1 military and terrorism is so big and wealthy that there's no other option. Fortunately, there are other options like the rest of the world, but most people don't see it that way because they were born in America and they have to be making the money first before they can move out. So anyway, if you like this video, hit that like and subscribe. I think I'm going to close it off there, because there really isn't much you can do about dealing with how people identify themselves or how other people see other people. So that is the whole situation that you can solve and fix here. And just to let you know, someone has spoken about it, and he was a slurpee maker. And thank you for watching.